Hello, good evening, welcome to Easy 8 Online Painting Club, the live stream show where you can come along, paint some of your miniatures with me for some company for the evening and with anybody who joins in the live chat today. I'm back after an extended holiday. I've been away for a little while and I apologise for not having done a show for the last few weeks. Desperately trying to get out of the shadow here, sitting in the wrong position. So I went to Morocco with my partner for probably just over a week and we had about a 10-day break, but it meant that for the last two Fridays I've not been able to do a show and I have missed being in here. I have not picked up a paintbrush, I've not picked up a miniature, I've not even thought about it for a whole 10 days or whatever, and I feel completely like an imposter. Who are you sitting in this studio doing what it is that you're doing right now? So apologies for being away for a little while, but sometimes you just got to go away and reset a little bit, haven't you? So that's what we did, and we had a wonderful time. We saw some beautiful places, and we met some really fantastic people. It was a really nice break. It's the first time I've ever been to Morocco. It's the first time I've ever stepped foot on Africa. I don't really travel an awful lot, but my partner likes to. So yeah, since we've been together, we go around and do a little bit of traveling now. She comes from Morocco, so it wasn't new to her. So she was kind of showing me around, like her, places where she grew up. So we stayed for a long time in Tangiers. That was great, and we moved out to Chefchaouen as well, which is, if you're ever interested in going on a really pretty holiday into a city, it's definitely worth going to. It was an incredible experience. When we were there, of course, there was a massive earthquake that happened in Marrakesh, and we were not there. We were going to be, and though it's difficult to say in hindsight when exactly we would have been there, but it would have likely have been around about the time that earthquake happened, and it was a devastating earthquake. For those of you that don't know, it was a 6.8, which is enormous. It is the largest earthquake they've had there for 120 years, and it has done so much damage that I don't even know if it can ever be. I don't know if it could ever go back to the way it was. With over 2,000 people dead or missing, it's an incredible death toll. So while we had an astonishing time there, of course there are people paying for natural disasters. So in some weird way, I suppose I'd like to dedicate the show to those people for whatever it's worth. We were totally unaffected. I didn't even know it was happening. I actually got messages from a colleague who sent me a message at about 6:30 in the morning going, "Hey Danny, I just seen the news. I hope you're okay." I'm like, "Thanks for waking me up, bro." And then of course we learned about the tragedy that's happening. It's over 300 miles away from where we were, and we felt nothing, but still a tragedy. Anyway, it was a lovely breakaway. We had a wonderful time, and it's good to be back in the studio doing some bits and pieces. If you're new here, Easy 8, it's not a tutorial show or anything like that at all. I'm not about to sit here and show you a load of stuff that I can't do that you can find in abundance on the internet. It's not that kind of show. This is literally a place where you can come along for 2 hours, paint your miniatures along with me. I'm going to be doing the best I can. I'm not that great, but I've got stuff that I want to paint and I absolutely love doing it. And if you are painting something this evening, I would genuinely love to know what it is. So do tell me about it. You can kind of come over here, drop comments in the live chat over here. Or if you're not so chatty, you can talk about it in the comment section if you want to. You can leave pictures on Facebook, because we're on Facebook as well. We're on Instagram if you want to check out some of my older stuff on there. And if you want to, you can also catch me on Discord at the end of the party. At the end of the show, at the Easy 8 after party. One day, I'll get that dialogue out properly. Do you know what? I'm going to be honest with you for a second. I wasn't going to say this, but I've been practicing with a teleprompter, because there's a whole lot of stuff that I wanted to get out at the beginning of every show and make it really accurate, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I've got the rig set up behind me with a big arm, and I had like a little teleprompter app on my phone, and I just couldn't stand to do it, because this show's live. That's what it's all about. It's a painting club, alright? Is you supposed to come along and join in and paint your stuff and show me all the wonderful pictures of the stuff that it is that you're doing. I read and look at everything that you guys put out there, so please do feel free to put up pictures of whatever it is that you're working on. Let me know, because I want to know. And of course, if you do like what we do here on this show, I say we, it's me, but you're all a part of it too. But if you like what this show is all about, then please do consider subscribing, because while it's such a short and small action from you, it's a massive kind gesture at this end. And every single subscription is precious to me. I feel every single one of them, and it just makes the community and the show grow. bigger and better, and I love it, and I love you guys. Thank you very much for all of your ongoing support. And while I was away, we got a couple more subscribers, got one earlier on today as well. So if you're new and you're watching this, welcome to the show. I hope you find it useful. I hope that you find a little something, you know, fun about what it's all about, and most importantly, I hope that you get some miniatures painted, because we've all got those big hordes of, you know, unpainted plastic. It's all around me, you just can't see it. A perfectly positioned camera is doing me justice here. So yeah, that's what it's about, right? Come along and paint some stuff, and then tell some friends, make some friends. I'm a friend too. Anyway, I've brought myself a British cup of tea, and I brought myself a British cup, a couple of biscuits for the discerning viewer out there and the biscuit enthusiast. Custard creams. Custard creams. I love a custard cream. We've got some friends over this evening in the house. You might be able to hear them chatting away and having a laugh in the background. Hopefully not. But yeah, they decided to have dinner. I said, look, I'll have dinner without you. I don't have time. They've all got pizzas and things. We're cooking them in the oven, and just as I was walking past, I grabbed a piece of my partner's pizza, shoved it in my mouth before the show started, and had the greasiest cheese hands ever. So yeah, I had to go scrub up before the show started. Anyway, Kez has joined us. Hi Kez, thanks for coming along. Nice to see you there in the live chat. How are you doing? Has been a little while since I've actually seen you, because I've been away for so long, etc. If you're working on something this evening, Kez, I'd love to know about it. You could drop photos over on Facebook if you want to, or you can tell us all about it in the live chat. Actually, incidentally, before we go to the workbench, for about the last, I'm going to say 12 to 18 months, probably 12 months, for some reason, Facebook has done this thing where you used to be able to like put pictures up in a community or a mentions tab, or you could just post them to the wall, and for some reason they've just, it never worked in these last 12 months or however long it's been. You just haven't been able to post them. So people historically now have been putting pictures of their projects that they're working on Facebook in this week's schedule. So every week I have like a little listing, say, hey, I'm going to be on air I'm going to be live on the show this week, and then people have been putting pictures in the comments bit beneath, like a reply. Yeah. Kez found out a couple of weeks ago, before I went away on holiday, that they have done something, and now you can post pictures or photos on the Facebook wall. Feel free to do whatever you want. It is a resource that is there for you guys, and I will look at everything and interact with you all about everything as much as you want. So if you put them as comments for this week's show, do that. If you just want to put stuff up on the wall, then do that too. Why not? Maybe let's, like, if you're painting something this evening, put it as a something in the eye. Put it as a post, as a reply for this week's schedule, and then if you do something through the week, stick it on the wall. You do you, boo. Do you, boo. I work with children, okay? They bring me all the latest things to say. We're going to take you to the workbench. Let's go. Here we go. God, something actually in my eye. I'll just sort this out and then we'll carry on with the show as normal. Kez says, doing well. I've just bought so much grey. You've bought the Leviathan box set, haven't you? Just got back from a mini holiday, visiting a friend, so relaxing tonight. Okay, so no painting, just kind of watching, chilling out. Well, do you know what? Thanks for your company. There is really something in my... This is a live show, right? You can tell, yeah? It does not want to leave me. Right, so what am I doing tonight? I'm hoping I'm going to finish off a project that I should have finished a week or two ago. I've got my Tyranid Gargoyles. I'm loving doing these. I think they're brilliant. I say this every week, of course. And I'm very nearly done. I've got just a few things left to do on them. So I've got 7 that I'm working on. This is one of those 7. Just off to the side here, I've got what I call my little porcupine, my big block of like polystyrene with all my others kind of stuck in it. 2 of them need their carapaces finishing with the highlights. So if you have a look at this one, if I bring in for a little zoom here we go. You can see that the carapace is made up of several different types of greys and blacks and things like that. So those highlight layers that you see on there, I need to do... Let's move away a little bit. There we go. I need to do the highlight layers on 2 of them. And then if you have a little look, there's little bits of white all over him. So he's got a bit of a white mouth at the moment. He needs a tongue and some teeth doing in there. And he's got some little claws on him. And then his eyes. And that's it. And while I can probably drag that out for 4 or 5 hours, maybe even a week, I really want to get all that stuff done tonight. So that's what I'm doing. This little guy is just going to come off of here. I'm going to pop him in the porcupine. Here we go. You can stay up there. Have I got a space for him? Have I got a space? You can just go in here. Do you know what? Don't worry about it. Come on. I'm already hyper focusing. You go. You go there. And you go here. All I can smell is custard creams. I'm going to have to get in on the custard cream action in a minute. So these two here, these two need their highlights doing. As you can see, they are not as highlighted as this fella at the end. So I'm going to start on this side here. Here we go. I like my wine, so I've always got the corks to hand. And just put the skewer in there. I chop the little pointy bits off the skewers because I'll always do myself a mischief with that. I've just got to get those highlights on. Now, I've managed to start getting faster at that highlighting process, but it has been a few weeks since I've even picked up a brush, so I'm expecting to be quite rusty today. Anyway, for those of you who know Stafford, who normally joins us in the live chat, he loves this one. I'm going to give this paint a good old mix up. This is my Administrative Grey, and it really needs a Waz, so I'm going to put it in the the Wazomatic, the Easy 8 Wazomatic. It's a little vortex mixer, and it doesn't have a long enough cable, so it's just off the side on the camera. You can't see it. Really sorry about that. You can probably hear it rumbling, right? But they separate after a little bit of not use. Is that the word? Not use. Here we go. Didn't close it properly, and it's dried up a little bit inside the lid. That's not good, is it? Hopefully it's not dried the whole paint up. It hasn't. Success. Let's get a pair of tweezers on that. Get some pointy tweezers in there, maybe. Let's see if I can just pick that out. Is it going to go everywhere now? Do you know what? That is the most ASMR thing I've ever done. That was really satisfying. I'm going to move them out of the way because I'm going to flick paint everywhere, and I can see it happening. There we go. Oh, that was lush. Pop that over there for a minute. Nice. At least that'll shut properly. Right, let's get some paint in the palette. I'm just going to use a crappy old brush that I use as a bit of a scoopy palette thing. And I'm just going to scoop off loads and loads to here. Just off to the side of the camera, I've got my palette over here. I'm really excited by the fact that while I was away on holiday, we had a few new subscribers. So yeah, it's really made my day. Oh, it's actually jammed up inside the lid. That's quite hard to close still. Okay. So yeah, honestly, genuinely, if you're new to the show, welcome. I hope you have a great time, and I hope you find something useful or fun or entertaining here on your hair. Just going to mix in a little bit of water because it really needs to be kind of reduced down. Just clean that brush off. Lovely. You can sit there. Now for this one, I'm going to use one of my really tiny synthetic brushes, just because the point that could be made on this brush particularly is really useful, and the shape of it is really useful for doing the highlights on my Tyranids at this size anyway. Bigger Tyranids have bigger carapaces, obviously, and bigger brushes work better for them. So again, a little bit of moisture in the bristles, let it soak up a bit of water, and then not going to dry it off, just going to like rub the water out on my hand, and that just allows the bristles to be kind of moist. It's a little thing that I do. I don't know if it's like a good thing to do. I like to make sure that my brushes are kind of like damp before I get started. Maybe a little bit too runny there. Just add a little bit of normal paint. There we go. Unwatered paint. And just because I need to start somewhere big and easy, I'm just going to start on this top piece of the carapace just here. So my brush seems to be flattening out a little bit, and it is a synthetic brush, so it might be that it's just kind of getting to its time, which is a shame. So I'm just going to use it sideways here, and I'm just going to start right on the edges, like this, and I'm just doing those little flicky motions. Now, I've realised when I'm doing this, look, I'm going over onto the next layer down. That is not cool. I was doing this the last time. Gonna have to get her in there and clean that up already, aren't I? What a start. I said it's been a little while. Alright, I'll come in there with some dark grey in a bit and I'll have to clean that up there, I think. That's a nuisance. It's because the carapace plates, if you like, there isn't much of a height difference between them. So when I'm kind of doing this motion, it goes onto the layer below. So I need to be really careful about that. Maybe if I try and use the tip more of the brush, yeah? That's a bit better, isn't it? Now I'm trying to get like lines and, you know, to simulate cracks or splits in the carapace in the armor. So the brushstroke method really helps me kind of find that place naturally. Try and keep that point refined on my brush. And sometimes the bristles split, and that's just really helpful for this particular painting style anyway. Occasionally I like to elongate one of those lines, make it look a little bit more random. With my horde armies, like I'm always saying, always trying to not be precious about it. There's a little bit of dark grey on the arm here that you really can't see, but when I'm looking this closely and this intently, of course I can see it. So yeah, just trying to make sure that I'm just moving on nice and fast, really. Okay, that layer's done. Keep going. Onto the next level. I'm going to try and make sure that I'm using the tip still. Yeah, I'm still catching it. It might be because there's some like uneven lengths of bristles that might be, as I'm kind of brushing down, they kind of flick out and touch that area. It can jolly well stop it, frankly. As the previous layer is drying, it's drying a little bit transparent, so I'm just kind of going back in and just making sure that the highlight stands out nicely. There we go. What I'm going to do very quickly is I'm just going to see if I can use my fingernail there, or my thumbnail, just to kind of pull off any sort of like threads that might be sticking out at the end, or any kind of loose bristles that might be causing me some problems. Let's see what that does. To the next layer. Cool. So the next layer. Now those plates are getting smaller and smaller as they go down, so at this point I'm just really just picking up the line, the edge of that plate. In a minute I'll go in and just kind of maybe add a few accents if you like. Like that. Because again, it's a horde creature. No one cares. And finally at the bottom, this little fella here. Make sure that I'm in shot still. Hi staff, I made it. Hi all. Hello mate, hope you're doing well. Nice to see you again. Are you working on anything this evening, Stafford? Or are you just kind of doing what Kez are doing, just sort of coming along to chill out for the company? What's occurring? I'm also, Stafford, sad to report that you've already missed one Was-It opportunity. Okay, now you can compare the back to the head, you can see that the highlights really do make quite a difference there, don't they? Anyway, I need to wash my brush out. Stafford says I got those replacement buildings plus a bonus one, starting to clean them up. And then, no. Yeah, sorry pal, you were late. Yeah, you don't get to do the Was-It if you're late. But yes, the replacement buildings, for those of you that don't know, Stafford bought a load of 3D printed 15mm buildings for playing World War II games at 15mm. And the quality on some of them was really poor. That's just a bad print job. And got in contact with you got in contact with the seller, and they have decided to, free of charge, replace all of the bad ones for you, which is just brilliant customer service. So it looks like you got those. So starting to clean them up. What are you doing to clean them up? Are you just kind of like trimming bits off, or are you actually having the sand bits? How is that process? Super interesting. They are beautiful models as well. They were really, really lovely prints. Really nice. Perhaps you can show them off on Facebook if you don't mind, so that other people can see them as well. Really good quality. Right, onto the head. Now, I always struggle about how to do highlights on that giant horn thing there. So what I'm going to do to start with is I'm just going to do those teeny tiny plates at the top. And because they are so small, I'm not going to sit there and try and do lots of like lines to make it look like it's got cracks and stuff. It's just too small for that. So it's literally just a little bit of edge highlighting, and then I just go in and make them look a little bit neat, and that kind of gives the impression of like lines and the cracked toenail effect. Cutting off the stringy bits, stuff. Yeah, FDM printers will leave you with that. I know that the quality on some of the prints was slightly substandard, but the actual model itself was beautiful. And I know that the quality of the bad quality ones wasn't like the general quality of it, if you know what I mean. Like I could see that person takes pride in their in their product. That's just those two just slip through the net, or those few slip through the net, sorry. Okay, that's one side of the head done. And all I'm doing here now is just putting a little bit of watered down paint on the back of my hand, and I'm just dipping the tip of the brush into the water, just kind of mixing that paint on the back of my hand really, so I can actually gauge by feel the viscosity of the paint that I need. Okay. I think this brush is finally dying, which is a bit of a shame. Do you know what? I can't use it anymore. I think, unless I can restore it, I think it's a dead brush, and that, whilst is fairly exciting, is a bit of a tragedy. So let's just put you over there, and I'm going to bring in one of my smaller Kolinsky brushes, but it's about 3 times, 4 times the size. So I'm going to have to be really careful about how I handle this one. But it does have a nice little point on it. Okay, here we go. Just struggling there at the end to kind of get any sort of decent brush stroke down. But that's synthetic brushes for you. The only reason I don't use this brush on a lot of the smaller plates is because the bristles, whilst go down to a nice fine point, actually just too big to kind of make the size lines that I want. So perhaps just a little bit of practice, or maybe I'll buy another Kolinsky brush at a smaller size, which would be nice. I just often forget. Here we go. It's looking a bit better already. I just fudged that one up a little bit, didn't I? Never mind. There we go, managed to rescue it though, that was good. I just went... Scallion TV, hello again, I've resurfaced. Hi Scallion TV, how are you doing? Nice to see your name appearing in the live chat there. Not only have you resurfaced, but me too. First time back from the holidays. Had a wicked time. I spoke about it all at the beginning of the show, so if you want to find out about my holidays, just watch the replay later on. But nice to see you. How are you doing? Are you working on anything this evening? Tell us all about it. There we go. So I've just got the gun to do on this little fella. Keeping those bristles nice and moist. Itchy head. And now on the front of this gun here. So what I've been doing with them is I've been making them lighter at the front, darker at the back. Got a bit of light reflecting in here, it's quite hard to see actually. There we go. Good. Do just a slight bit more moisture in the brush there, that would help. And I then of course went ahead and ruined it and put too much moisture in the brush. Yeah, clever me. Now the bit at the back of the gun is really difficult to do, so all I do is I just kind of edge highlight like that. And if I'm feeling pretty confident, I can just do like a couple of little flecks, make it look like, you know, give the illusion of those lines. Like that. There we go. It's done. Just going to make sure that all the other plates look good. Just tidy them up a little bit if they need to. I do need to come in with that dark grey and just sort those out. That'll take me a second. I think all I need to do is bite the bullet and buy a smaller Kolinsky brush. That's definitely going to benefit me, isn't it? What I am going to do also is just put like a little bit of highlight on these little like spinal fleck things down here, these little efforts. There we are. Nice. Not the best painted miniature in the world, but I like it. It's really good. Scanning TV says, I have just finished 10 gunslingers for What a Cowboy. So busy writing their names underneath the bases. That sounds so cool. I would love to see a photo of that. What a Cowboy is made by the same people who made What a Tanker, which is what I play quite regularly. And I understand that the gameplay is quite similar in the approach to how they designed the game, and yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it. I really wanted to play it, but it then meant another game that you have to invest in a new set of miniatures for, and then terrain for, and while I'm all for doing that, I've got so many other projects on the go, so the whole point of the show, right, is to paint stuff that you've got. So yeah, that sounds excellent. Perhaps we'll have a game together. Be wicked. Kez there, I say, nice. Kez, didn't you say that you were going to try and run a game for people to play BattleTech? Was that Alpha Strike? Was that one of the plans? Is that a plan that's still going ahead? I know we all have our lives and stuff, you know. Sometimes best laid plans. Okay, here's the second guy. Need to come back to that guy in a minute. I'm going to do the dark grey on him, but in case I make the mistakes on this guy too, I might as well just do it after I've done the highlights, right? So, I'm going to have a sip of my tea because I'm sat here, you know, chin wagging away. Cheers. Biscuit, like I said, for the discerning viewer and the biscuit enthusiast. Custard creams. For those of you that don't dunk, I'm going to do it right in front of you. Yep. What are you going to do? That's a good cup of tea. Okay. So, highlights, here we go. Okay, so, oh, do you know what I'm going to do? Pop them in the cork so I can just hold him a little bit better. They're so spiky. Oh, yeah, Kez says, yeah, trying to sort that out. Yeah, man, no rush. I wasn't trying to, like, force it on you or anything, but, you know, just looking forward to playing a game with people would be great. We've all got lives and responsibilities and, you know, jobs and stuff. And it just eats into our schedule a little bit sometimes, doesn't it? And I'm also one of those people, like I've said before, I've got like a really fun job, so it's not like, you know, I can just go like, nah, I'm not doing this job anymore. I'm going to walk out and I'm going to spend all my savings on living and playing games and living that sort of fantasy world. I love my job. But, you know, it get in the way. Going well, this one. Just be careful, I'm going to wipe his tail and not all that grey there. I'm actually going to teach someone tomorrow how to play Battletech. Ah, cool. Well, do you know what? There was the time that we were going to be going to Warhammer World in October, but those plans fell through. So for anybody who was thinking about joining Easy 8 on the road to go and see Warhammer World at the end of October, well, mid-October, we have decided to pull out. Was it no? It was the beginning of October, wasn't it? It was over the 8th and 9th that Kez and I decided we were going to go, and there were a few people like, yep, okay, we're going to come along too. So Kez and I and a few others had kind of planned it all and booked that holiday and stuff. And then out of the blue, Games Workshop announced that they were closing Warhammer World for the 8th and the 9th. So, yeah, plans have been made around those dates now, so just can't go. And I'm sure that their reasons are valid, you know. Stuff's going on. Maybe there's been, you know, like some sort of like building work or whatever going on in there. Or, you know, health and sanitation crisis or something. You don't know, do you? So yeah, we're not going to Warhammer World now, which is a bit of a shame in some ways, because, well, the whole point of this year for me really was to be focusing on my Warhammer projects, because it's my 41st year around, you know, the sun, 41st millennium. I wanted to kind of like do lots of 40k projects and go to Warhammer World as a part of that pilgrimage that everyone needs to go and do. While I live in the UK, it is some distance away. Just doesn't look like I'm going to be able to go. So perhaps, Kez, if you wanted to, we could try and organise like a get-together of people to play Battletech on those dates. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Games Workshop are building a new factory. Oh, wow, there you go. How exciting. Actually really exciting. I'm actually genuinely blown away by that. Starting to run out of paint now, it's getting a bit dry in the brush. So a little bit of moisture there, just to loosen what's up in the bristles. Just help redefine what's on the model already. There we go, that's nice. Okay, let's get a bit more out. I'll just wash this brush out too. Why not? Always wash it out. Always wash your brush. Oh look, biscuit. Oh man, I love biscuits. So does my expanding waistline. Got the consistency right now, it's coming on quite fast. Nice, there we go. Painting names on your bases, Scallion TV, sounds like quite the difficult project to do. I'd be very interested to know how it is that you're actually doing that. Are you doing those things where you can have the names printed and then kind of highlight them, or are you just doing it by hand, like old school? I've just realised as well that this head here has only got one layer of grey. It doesn't have the mid-tone on there. So, got a bit of extra work to do. Okay, we're all done there. So highlights in grey are all done. Yay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly get out the dark grey, because that needs another layer. It hasn't gone on very well. For some reason I just stopped there. Here you go, Staff. It's happening. It's happening, Stafford. It's happening. Give me some time, man. Do you know what? I haven't got time for this. Was it? You need to be more preemptive. I think you need to just kind of like, you know, read the room, you know. I think he's going to do it now. Was it? There we go. Now I've got the dark grey, which is Eshin grey. Scoop a little bit of that. I've got a little bit of a repair job to do on the other one that I just painted. So a little bit of water. Okay, and here I could just see that it's a little bit not fully covered. Perhaps I just missed it. Perhaps I just forgot about it or something. Or what's more likely is I ADHD this one and just decided to move on to something else. That is the more likely subject, to be fair. So Scallion TV says, oh no, I've still got that one. Scallion TV says, painted the underside of the base with the old Tamiya acrylic, then have a black acrylic ink in one of those fittable paint pens to write by hand. will seal with hard coat when dry. Do you know what? I'd genuinely love to see a video of that. That would be really, if you've got the means and the inclination to do that, of course. I would love to see like how you're doing that. Wasmatic. Sorry, dude. Sorry. You're just so late. I was rushing you on this one, to be fair. Like, I can see that I'm a little bit behind, and yeah, I rushed you. Now, one thing about these gargoyles is I wanted to put them on certain new acrylic stems, and I did order them. They're still not here. They should have been here at the end of August. So perhaps what I need to go and do is have a look, see if I have any sort of correspondence from the supplier, see if there's been an issue, see if I actually have like completed the order for a start. That will definitely be something I need to check up on. Because yeah, I wanted some new acrylic rods to base them on, so I could have them at various heights. And I don't have the means to do that yet, so I want it. I want those means. Right, that's the head there done. Let's go back to the other guy. And all I've got to do here is just clear up those tiny little overpaints. Classic schoolboy error. Okay, done and done. Oh, my red grass lamp arrived today. Very nice. I still didn't complete the Kickstarter. I did my classic thing where I thought that I'd submitted my submitted my funding, whatever you want to call it, and I thought I genuinely had done it. Like, I don't think I ADHD'd it, but I clearly have ADHD'd it, and yeah, I still haven't got around to it because ADHD. Biscuit. Right. Okay. Done. Middle grey, because his head still needs his middle highlights. Mid-lights. Low lights, highlights, mid-lights, right? There you go, Stafford. What am I doing? Can't wait for overgrowth. Slow motion to the Easy 8 automated Wasmatic. It doesn't get old on me, I'm sorry. So if anybody's watching this, they think, what is he doing? Why is he saying that? It's the guy I am. It's the guy I am. Was it? Gotta give it a was. There we go. Oh, I did it in time with the music as well. That was cool, right? Yeah, this, unfortunately, this paint, unbeknownst to me, had a build-up of paint inside the lid and it went dry. So I've been trying to like add thinners and stuff to it to kind of restore it and get some colour back. Now, if I stab this rubbishy old brush into it, I do get paint. And then I can water it down and it works fine. It's just got to use a crappy brush to pull the paint out. It's not the best. That is the problem with these Games Workshop paints, right? Or these Citadel paints, rather. There we go. Wash the brush out. Okay. Let's get some mid-lights on this guy's head. Getting a pretty good texture, that's nice. A bit more water perhaps. Here we go. So, look at it one for reference. Gotcha. Now basically I always try to paint outside edges more highlighted because it makes them look, I suppose, sharp. Sorry for delay, having really bad buffering here. I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry. You have to apologise, like the wasomatic things, like not a duty that you have to take on. It's just become synonymous with your name. Sure, I'm in the shot. Actually struggling to control this paint, so yeah, definitely need to get a new one of these. Nice. These wings are kind of in the way when I'm trying to look at it from the side. It's a bit difficult. Almost there. Tricky with the quality of paint. I've given up on the laptop. I've gone to phone. Laptop is still showing the gloopy grey paint. Oh yeah. Do you know what? That silly little heart symbol's sitting in front of my text. I can't see some of the live chat until it moves up a little bit. Yeah, sounds like you got a bit of a buffer situation going on there, doesn't it? Thanks for sticking around though. Almost there. Really hard to kind of move this around, and it just wants to go really transparent, so it's not covering well and it's not moving well and it's not really transferring off the bristles. So just trying to get it to the best that I can, knowing that in a minute I'm going to come over with a highlight colour and probably hide a lot of this. Oh, I just got some on the previous bit, ruined that again. Told you it's been a few weeks since I picked up a brush. Kez, is it the one with a magnifier? I don't think it is. It's on Kickstarter and it has 2 strip-like things and they can rotate and yeah. Do you know what? It's just a really good lamp for like hobbyists and people who work at desks and stuff. In fact, Kez, if you've got a hands-free, perhaps you could link it on the Easy 8 Facebook page so that people who are watching this, if they want to, can go along and see what it's all about. Because I know that you've got a link to hand, I think. It's a really good lamp. Kez and I were both looking at it at the same time, and we didn't realise, and we were talking about it to each other later on, like, oh yeah, I was looking at that, It's a great lamp. I don't normally get all sort of like, you know, fuzzy about, you know, things like that, but yeah, definitely worth looking at. I'm off to Clotted Lard tomorrow. Clotted Lard? I really do like the look of the leathery wings, Danny. Thank you so much. One of the things that I know I'm not going to be able to get done today is the kind of the redness around the holes and things. At first I thought it was a bit too much, but actually I do really like it, and it was a really simple effect to achieve the leatheriness. These are a little bit lighter than this one. This is my original prototype. I might redo it to kind of make them lighter. You can see there's quite a shade colour difference, but I really like it. It was simply Screaming Skull with a wash of Seraphim sepia over the top, just controlled, and that was it. Thanks very much. Right, I've got all of that grey on that I think I need to do, and I'm going to have to let it dry for a few minutes before I come back and do the highlights on the head. Once I've got the highlights on the head done, of course I can do eyes, I can do claws, and I've just realised as well they've actually got little pipes on the backs of the little guns. You see those little loopy pipes? So I'm going to be kind of doing those as well. Tongues, teeth, claws, eyes, and hopefully get it all done tonight. If they don't get them all done tonight, bit of a shame, but I will probably have them all done over the next few days, and I'll take photos of them when they are completed and put them up on Facebook for your viewing pleasure. It's always nice to finish something on the show, but it doesn't always happen that way. Anyway, Claire says, posted a link on the Easy 8 Facebook. Thank you very much, that's very kind. Right, what I'm going to do, I think, from here... Oh. I pushed the wrong button. I'm really sorry. Dry-o-matic. Yeah, do you know I should get like a black hairdryer and have Easy 8 Dry-o-matic written on the side of it? Everything should be like whatever-o-matic. That would be really hilarious. I wish I could have like... If I could have another camera that just does like a silly little thing just, you know, on my workbench so you can see other things around, that'd be cool. Ah, do you know what? I think we've got a merchandise plan going on here. Thanks, Scallion. Right, now that I've put that in my mouth, I'm going to go away for 10 minutes, finish my cup of tea, and get a boozy drink. I try to be professional and it's not working. See you in 10 minutes. Whatever it is that you're doing, go change your paint water. Bye-bye. Welcome back. I went and made myself a big grown-up drink. Happy Friday. Cheers. Oh, definitely needs either less vodka or more coconut. Or maybe it doesn't. Anyway, hope you had a good break. Hope you're having a good evening so far. Do you know what? I'm just genuinely so happy to be back in the studio painting again. I'm having a great time here. What I've been doing is I've just been kind of doing the highlights on this guy's head. I did go and replace my water because I've been doing grey paint. It's gone cloudy again. So yeah, honestly, I did do it. Yeah, just trying to get these highlights done. So now I can just move on to claws, teeth, tongues, and eyes, I suppose, and pipes. That's not even not an appropriate thing to say, is it? Let's go back to the workbench. Here we are. So yeah, you can see that I started doing the highlights on the head there, and it's really starting to take shape now. Really like it. Checking to see that if all of the plates are all highlighted appropriately. To be honest, I'm kind of happy with that. They're very hard to do, and because the model's already pre-built and things, like trying to get in down the back of the last sort of plate thing down here, it's very difficult. But the colours show up, just making sure that they're all sort of opaque, not too underdone. There. Make sure he's got a bit of colour on the point. Nice. We are done with those highlights. All those carapace highlights are all done. And that fills me with joy. How are your projects going this evening, guys? Are you guys having just as much success as I am? I have problems. You can come over and tell us all about it if you're experiencing a problem and you want to kind of air it out and kind of find a solution, or maybe you just kind of want to celebrate a win, celebrate a victory. Maybe something's just going really well for you over there today. I'd love to hear all about it, so come and let us know. During the break, Scaling TV had to disappear for an early start of work tomorrow, so I did say bye, but if you're watching it back later on, bye. Thanks for coming along, and thanks for the compliment. That was very nice. Yeah, that's going to go straight to the head. Okay. Wowzers. I don't drink a lot. I certainly wasn't drinking while I was away on holiday, and that has shown. Right, so this fella here has all his teeth and claws sort of based, and I based them with Screaming Skull. It's a really good so, do you know what I'll do? I'll come out a little bit. Here we go. It's a really good colour to sort of base all your whites and things with. So yeah, he's already done. All the others need it. They look really good together on the monitor, don't they? I hope that's bright enough. It doesn't look very bright on my screen. I wonder if it's not right for you either. Maybe I need to kind of sort out my brightness levels. I can see them kind of going up and down as I move them around, and I don't like that. I have to sort that out. Tech issues on that one, I think. Okay, cool. Here we go. So, pop him in the cork. Back to this fella. We painted him earlier on. Yep, repaired that. The problems with him well. Okay, on to some Screaming Skull. Just going to give this paint a shake. Stafford. Just going to give it a shake because it needs a good mixing. And to mix a paint, I need to put it on the... nope. Wazomatic. I know there's a delay. I'm just not giving you the time today. Got a lot to do. Got a lot to do. Come here often? I hope you do. Very little left in this pot. I do have a fresh one on standby. No, I've just done a thing where I pushed that little tab at the back through. That is never going to shut again, ever. Right. Get a good scooping of this paint. There we go. Take it out from the lid where it's all hiding. Can I get that bit closed? Come on, don't be a bum. There it is. Never understood what that little bit at the back there is for. Is it to stop it from going back too far? Because it stops you from opening it. It does my head in. Right, okay. Going to water that paint down a little bit, and then I'm going to start painting teeth and tongues, claws, and I'll even do it on the pipes on the guns as well, because like I say, it's a really good undercoat, it's a really good primer for those areas. So, going to stay with my Kolinsky, it's working well for me today. A little bit of water in the brush, not masses, but enough to water that paint down. It's just got a really good pigmentation. So you can water it down quite a bit, and it does the job. I don't want to lose control of it, so I'm not going to add too much water. Perfect blend there. Start off big, because it's been a little while since I've done this, so I'm going to start off on the tail claw. All of them have this. Let's zoom back in again so you can see what it is that I'm doing. Here we go. And because all of the areas that need to be painted now are all the sort of unpainted areas, it really starts to tidy them up as well, and it really starts to bring them all together, because we're at that kind of detail stage now. Cat hair, what would the show be without a cat hair? Excellent. Been painting these guys now for probably a little bit too long. I wanted to get them done quite quickly. I have got them done quite quickly, but I just haven't had that time in the you know, in the weeks, because I've been like busy working and whatnot. And I did get lots done from time to time, but not as often as I wanted to. Can see there, Stafford. Swasmatic. We know it's a typo, but I like the way it sounds. So we've got these little like finger claws at the end of the wing bones here, and they just, I think they add like a nice little bit of contrast to the leathery colour. Like little bright highlights just at the ends, which I dull down slightly with a little bit of Seraphim, maybe a bit of Agrax, but I think Agrax is a bit too harsh. It's got too much contrast against the white that I'm putting on. And then I just go over and highlight again with a little bit more of this, maybe even white. The problem with just putting Seraphim on it, I'll say my words clearly, is that it tends to turn the colour yellow, and then it just blends in with the rest of the skin, the rest of the flesh on these, you know, particular models that I'm painting. Okay, just making sure I've got all of the sides of them done. There we go, to this side over here. Got like a little foot claw thing. Like the hive mind that hyper evolved these creatures went, nah, you don't need limbs, you don't need legs or hands or anything. Oh, it's got hands, but it doesn't need feet. So they've just turned them into little stubby things that help hold the wings in place. Looking at it with this, like it's not done properly. Okay. Oh, we've got hands as well at the top there that they need doing too. Okay. Now, even though this is a really simple job, there's just a lot of claws, right? A lot of claws to get through, so the time gets sunk away in just the minutiae here. And like I said right at the beginning of the show, I'm not that good. So it takes me absolutely ages to get these simple jobs done. Okay, all those claws are done. Let's get the hands done. So I mean the hands, the wings, the thumbs, that's the one, the thumbs. Yeah, thumb claws. Okay, now they do have a little claw that sticks through the gun. Where he's holding it here, it's his thumb kind of goes through. Oh, I'll get in a shot, shall I? So he's holding it here, holding it like a gun. Yeah, and it's his thumb sticking through. So what I do is I'll get a point on my brush. Like this. It's getting a little bit dry, so it's kind of going on a little bit chalky there. So I just need to add a little bit of moisture into the bristles. There, now it's got some flow. Trying to be careful I don't get it on, like, you know, the lips or anything. And I want to paint everything that's in there. Later on I'm going to come and paint the tongue, and I'll neaten up the teeth again. And yeah, look really good. Teeth on these miniatures are so small, and at my skill level I just kind of wipe the brush sideways along them, and it hopefully catches them all. There we go. Looks a bit weird at the moment, but it really does work later on. And now what I need to do is that little pipe in there as well. So let's get that done. Bit of moisture in the brush, bit of paint on the end there. Wipe off some of that excess. And that little pipe section kind of goes through his wrist and comes out underneath what I suppose would be like the hand grip. And I suppose that these sorts of designs are done to kind of draw attention to the fact that they're supposed to be symbiotic. So by having them kind of like woven together, kind of helps represent that, right? I really like it. I think it's a nice way of doing it. What is really difficult now is getting this colour on this brush through the arms at the back there and onto the back side of the pipe of this gun, and it might be too difficult to do. I'll give it a little bit of a go. There we go. Oh, that wasn't too hard. Didn't get all of it, but it's really hard to get to, and therefore it's really hard to see as well. So if it's too difficult, I'm not going to fret so much. Keep going off camera now. Nice, okay, cool. Done. wash the old brush out. Back to the other one that we've just finished painting a minute ago, because he's the next one in the sequence. And the same again. How's everybody else's projects coming on this evening? I know Kez has taken some time out this evening, but staff's working on some 3D printed buildings. How are they coming along, mate? Are they getting on alright? Oh, that is alcoholically aggressive. Bit of paint in the ferrule there, which I'll have to clean out at the end of the show, because yeah, that'll do my brushes a mischief. You can see that they're starting to flare out at the ends already, so yeah, I want to make sure that we recover that. But for now, I can nurse the tip in. Lovely. Okay, so here we go for another go. Half an hour left to go. Certainly not going to get all of this done tonight, which is a shame, and I'm really sorry that I wasn't able to finish them all off, because it would be lovely to be able to do that. I certainly feel like I've been working on long enough to have finished them all. I suppose we all work at different rates, right? I'm not ashamed of that. But it is time to move on to another project soon. Nice. Getting there, no workbench, so sat on the floor, says stuff. Why no workbench today? I thought you had, at your new place, I thought you had a little workbench area, like a little corner or something. Let's put some headphones on and sit on the sofa, perhaps. Not bother the other people around you. Or do you just want some private space? That's what I really like about being up here. Of course I love my partner, but you know, sometimes it's just nice to come away and just find a little quiet space for you and your hobby and your online friends and whatever, and just sort of you know, put the busy day behind you, busy week or whatever it is. You're having a good day, bad day, whatever. It's just nice to kind of sort of reset the brain space. I see that John's joined us from Out of This World Models and Minis, snuck away to say hello. Hi John, how are you? It's so lovely to see your name popping up in the live chat again. I'm so sorry that we missed our opportunity the other week to have our little video call. I was just absolutely physically, mentally, psychologically drained from just a series of very, very busy weeks. And of course we definitely need to have that catch up soon. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to having that long overdue chat, and now is a great time, I suppose, to bring up the fact that John and I will be collaborating over October for October. So if you want to join us in that little task, please do. Find yourself an orc model, any model that you like, that will last you over the whole October period. And John and I have said that we are looking forward to potentially, hopefully, still doing Ghazghkull Thraka, the really big Ghazghkull model, which I'm really excited and intimidated to do. So yeah, really looking forward to catching up about that, John. Let's talk later, yeah? In the meantime, I think you need to get away or watch the replay when I get home tonight. Thanks for coming along, John. It's always lovely to see your name coming up there. If you don't know who John is over in the States and runs his own YouTube channel, Out of This World Models and Minis, and it's just basically a really swell dude who just finds joy in the hobby, painting, and just paints whatever he wants and likes to do at the time, and has recently just put up another video of the special weapons Dalek, because you know John, like most normal people, is a Whovian, and has found himself a 1/18th scale, I believe it is, special weapons Dalek, and he's done it all grimdark, and it looks amazing. Haven't seen the video yet, John, but I will endeavour to do so over the next few days. Really looking forward to that video. It looks incredible, by the way, that paint job. So yeah, really looking forward to that. I think it's an anniversary of Doctor Who coming up, and I think John has got this model from a previous anniversary and is doing it up for things like 60 years of Doctor Who, which is just brilliant, isn't it? I love Doctor Who, and if I'm honest with you, it's the Daleks that I like. I think they're the ultimate villain. I think they're incredible. Cybermen were also really good. I remember them being super scary when I was a kid. The newer ones, they're just fun though, aren't they? You know. But yeah, Daleks, crazy evil villains. Wasn't really a fan of them so much in the Matt Smith version, where they were all bright, bold colours. Although I can see why that was appealing. You know, I like the older, grittier ones from the sort of David Tennant series, like the Cult of Skaro and things. I think they were all really, really cool. So yeah, if you're looking forward to watching a little bit of a Doctor Who painting, go and watch John's channel. Go and subscribe and show the guy some love, because he makes some really good models. I just did a little bit of overpaint and I can't find where I did it. There it is. I see it. It's too late, it's dried, isn't it? Of course it has. I have to hide that with a little bit of sepia. Never mind. October. That's right, October. You've got to find yourself a little orc model. It could be a Gretchen or a Snotling. It could be from Age of Sigmar or Old World Fantasy. It could be Space Orcs. It could be a Meganob. It could be a Death Dread. It could be one of the Orc cars or whatever. October to paint it. And yeah, John and I will talk about, you know, collaborating to some level, because we support each other's channels so openly. We thought we have to do something. But that great big bit of water in the middle of us and the time zones really make life difficult to collaborate much. So we just thought that, you know what, October is just a great opportunity to do something together. So yeah, he was like, what model do you think we should do? And I was like, Gazgol, go big or go home. And he was like, yep. And I was like, oh my god. what have I done? Such an intimidating model, but that's the point of it, right? Is go and have some fun. So yeah, I've got some ideas on how I'm going to do it. I might do it slap chop. See what happens. So Stafford is saying, so you prefer the Rebel Daleks and not the Imperial ones? Yeah, I think so. It's not because of the sort of the allegiances that they have or whatever. I prefer the style of them. But I like the fact that when the Imperial ones turn up, that they are all they're even more scarier in the way that they talk and things, aren't they? I just didn't like the look of them. They kind of changed the shape of them a little bit, and it didn't sit well with me. It's a personal thing, surely. Like, I'm sure there's people out there who really prefer the look and the style of those Imperial Daleks. I like the fact that they brought Davros back. Just unfortunately didn't like that style so much. I remember, because I was a Sylvester McCoy fan, because that was the era that I grew up in. I remember seeing the Special Weapons Dalek in some sort of like Dalek war, where they're all shooting each other up. And I remember seeing it. I was always like, "What was that Dalek?" And of course, John's gone and done him up, and it looks fantastic. Got like a big, super duper cannon mounted on his chest. It goes around just shooting up other Daleks, because why not, right? Now, this particular gargoyle's got little spiny bits sticking off the front of his front finger here, so don't want to leave those guys out. Just check the other guy, he didn't have them. Oh, he did have them. I just missed them because I'm stupid. They all have them to some degree. No, they don't. Yes, they do. Sometimes less is more, and maybe I shouldn't have bothered, but I've started on them now, so here we go. Oh, I messed that right up. Get some water on that quickly. Look at that, all up the front of that finger bone. Oh, that was quick, Danny. Nice. Ooh, yikes. That was just a bit of sloppy painting, that's what that was. Okay, and tongue and teeth. Nice. What I do with the eyes, because they're so tiny and in such a recess, to really pick them out, rather than kind of getting like a brush and just stuffing in a light colour and then putting a dark colour over the top, is I'll drop a little bit of white ink in there, because it's so much more runnier but yet an intense colour. It kind of highlights everything that I need it to in there, and then I can come in later on with a really fine tip brush and just kind of put a blue dot on it, and then that sort of the white really adds the sort of background brightness to it, and then the colour will just sort of stand out. It's the easiest way to do it. These guys have got some really tiny eyes, but adding that little dot of colour really does makes the difference, kind of gives them some character. Cool, taking a bit longer than I wanted it to here, but we're getting there. Gun pipe thingy. Do you know what, those guns have even got their own eyes as well, haven't they? So when it comes to eyes, I'll do the gun eyes as well. There's an eye. Yeah. I am very aware that time is passing on and I'm not getting an awful lot done here, or it doesn't feel like I'm getting through it very fast. I am making really good ground. It just takes time. That's quite hard to see with all the shadow in there. So I'm keen to make it look like that I'm making progress on the show. So in a minute, when it gets to a certain point, I'm just going to show you how I do the claws, in case you've not seen me do them before. So I've painted you know, their base coats, and I'll show you what I do with the Seraphim Sepia. Cool, he's done. Ooh. That brush needs a really good wash. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do one more of the white colour there, and then I'll do the Seraphim. Just give my brush a really good clean, because it was getting a bit claggy. Can't work with a claggy brush, you just can't. Bit of moisture. There we go. Okay, starting down at the feet. Here we go. That's smoother. Should have started on the tail. What was I thinking? That's how things get missed. That's probably what I did with that guy's head carapace bits earlier. Okay, back to the tail. Nice. Finger claws. Just do the tops of them for now, see if that speeds me up a little bit, rather than rotating it over for every single go. And it does. Feels faster. This side. Do you know what I'm not doing? I'm not using them with cork, am I? That'd be so much easier to hold. Okay, undersides. It feels faster doing it this way. So rather than doing one side at a time, I do the top and then flip them over and then do the whole bottom. Weird how little ways like that work out, isn't it? Thumb claws. Nice. Do this. It's got like one claw on the outside edges here. One little spiky bit, so I'll just do that nice and quickly. Perhaps I should have just left them yellow and make them look like just like fleshy barbs or something. I've kind of done it now. It'll hopefully bring some, like, you know, focus and to it, make it look like it's got some extra detail on it. I should have just left it, really. Never mind. Okay, last bit. Mouth parts. Just trying to use the last little bit of paint in the palette without having to get any more out, and hopefully if I just add a bit of water it should be okay. I don't want to get any more out. I'm right at the last little bit of paint in the palette. that'll be fine. Nice. Excellent. Make sure he's got a good covering there. Nice. Okay, that's 3 down, 4 to go for that. He can go into his home over here. What I'll do is I'll get this little fella out that we did earlier, and I'll just do the seraphim on it so that you can see what it is that I do. Now on this one I think I've even done like a little bit of agrax, but it's really harsh contrast. Sometimes I like the agrax just to kind of do like a little bit of define some extra details like recesses or right up against the edges of some of the flesh, and I'm going to have to dry brush that out a little bit, or even kind of just paint it out a little bit because it's a little bit dark on that one. So to start with, I'm just going to use some seraphim. Here we are, seraphim sepia. It's a new pot, this one, and it behaves a little better. Just throw it. Yeah. A few minutes away from ending this evening. It's been really nice just to get back in the studio and do some painting. Thank you ever so much for your company. Okay, so we've got a bit of seraphim here. I should just call it sepia because it is sepia. Seraphim sounds nice, doesn't it? And I just kind of slap it on, starting up at this larger claw here. And as it's on there, I'm going to try and control it a little bit more and just sort of, you know, bring it back away from the point, which I want to be like brighter, makes it look like it's, you know, sharper or pointier, and towards the base where it touches the flesh, the skinny bits. And that's why I sometimes use agrax, is just to help define the outline edges there and make it look a little bit more interesting, but I went too far with the last one. And you can see what I mean by it blends in with the yellow a bit too much sometimes. So here is kind of perfect really, along the sort of inside edge there. Hope that's showing up. A little bit out of focus when it goes in too close, isn't it? But that'll just add some sort of depth to it, to the colour, that white colour, bone colour. When it's finished, I come in with a little bit of highlight of the same colour, that same bone colour, and a little bit later on, and I'll try and add like a little bit of agrax just at the bottom, just along that sort of defining edge between skin and bone. But of course it's not just on that one claw, it's on all the other claws. But if I start playing around with all the others now, start spinning them around, that kind of gets affected by gravity. It starts pulling up in the wrong places, and that's probably what happened with that little bit of agrax. That's perfect on the inside there, looks really good. But the sepia colour will blend it away and make it blend into the yellow a little bit too much, so I want to be really careful with that. trying to get all those claws. Still got to bring all the whites out on the edges of these wings, yeah, haven't I? And you can see now that all the white has really started to sort of die down and blend away with the yellow, and yeah, I just don't want that so much, really. Don't want them to look like they're yellow. I would have painted them as yellow. So what I do is I come in and I start like highlighting them or dry brushing them a little bit, but on those, you know, on the leading edges or the points and things, so that they still maintain that level of sepia, but just in the right places. All of these colours are looking really good. This new recipe of sepia is just helps it. It just makes it more manageable. That's really good. And I like the fact that to some extent it does blend in with the yellow, because you want it to be a unifying wash. You want it to kind of bring everything together, but at the same time you do still want your detail standing out a little bit more. Oops, zoom out a little bit there. Bit bleached out by the lights perhaps, but it looks nice. Really happy with that. How I do the teeth, would do it the same. I might even use a bit of Agrax just to kind of run deep into the recesses that kind of defines the teeth, makes it look like there's some depth to his mouth, and then I will go over and pick out all the teeth individually again, just a little bit of skull white on them, skull white, screaming skull, just to sort of bring the colour back out a little bit more. But that Agrax will sort of identify the recesses a bit more, and I genuinely can't remember how I did the tongue on this guy. But it came out like a real nice sort of purple colour, and I think that might be Drutchy Violet on there. Could be Carabao Crimson, not entirely sure, but it looks really cool and I like it. So yeah, it's looking good. Sorry that I didn't get to finish them tonight. It would have been really nice if I did. Anyway, got a few more minutes to do another, so I'm gonna. Here we go. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to do the teeth a minute and just, you know, show the difference on that. Where is my Agrax? There it is. New recipe of Agrax as well. Just give it a bit of a shake. Not because necessarily they need to mix up so much, but you know, everything still has a pigment and it will settle to the bottom, and it is just worth giving it a shake. Some of them, like, is it Reichland Flesh Shade, just froths up like it's a latte. It's just unbelievable. So, you know, be aware of that. Anyway, just going to get a small amount on here. I like Agrax, it's a nice colour. Not going to bother with the cork this time. And I don't know if that really shows up. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you do. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, just so you can see it. You can see that it's run into the recesses of the teeth there, and it makes the teeth stand out. It's not really filtering the colour of the teeth. I don't need it to filter them. They're so small that the Agrax does its job there, makes the background look darker without it being black. The brown colour shines through. It has filtered it ever so slightly, but it will blend away yellow again, because, you know, brown and yellow are actually very closely attributed to one another. But I'll need to pick up the colour of the tongue anyway, because I'm getting a bit of Agrax on that. So it's fine. You can come back in and sort all that out later on. And it just shows the definition of the teeth. If I compare to this side over here, you can't see the definition. Flip it over here, and suddenly the teeth pop out a little bit more. But if I use black, if I use Nuln Oil, too much. Too dark. Too black. Which is what it is, right? Incidentally, well, where Nuln Oil really shines in a matte fashion is eyeliner, especially for your Space Marines or even Tyranids here. Is once you kind of put in your like base color, like your bright whites or whatever, is you can, or even after you've done the colors as well, is just drop a tiny little Nuln oil into the eye socket there, and it runs around the outsides, and it just gives this eyeliner effect. It makes everything look sort of dark and recessed, but the color of the eye, if you haven't like saturated that whole area, shines through, and it just kind of makes the eye look a little bit more interesting. There's a teeny tiny spider on my wall climbing up. See you later, little buddy. Very small. Yeah, cool. This is a really good way of getting those teeth to stand out. Nice. It is nice when it all comes together, isn't it? But yes, it is going to take me a little bit longer to paint, which is a bit of a shame, and I'm really sorry that it didn't all pay off today. But do you know what? Maybe a bit more than I chew. Been away for a couple of weeks. What do you expect? Anyway, look, I'm going to come away from the workbench now. Here we go. Been another productive evening. Staffer says, good night, guys. Hopefully see you next week. Absolutely, we'll see you next week. As far as I'm aware, I'm going to be here. I'm not going off on another holiday. Happy weekend. Cheers. And don't forget to go and support John at Out of This World Models and Minis, or any of the other cool websites, YouTube channels, etc. That I support here at Easy 8. If you want to see all of those people, or all of the links to their platforms are all down there in the description. And if you want to communicate with me or to them, then just you can leave comments in the section down there as well. I read and reply to everything. If you want to talk to them, go and talk to them. Go show them some love and subscribe, because they're wonderful people. And they've got like YouTube shows, they've got Facebook platforms, they've got websites and stuff. You should go and check them all out, because there's some really wonderful characters down there. And that's what the show's all about. It's about bringing people together. So yeah, go and see what they're all about. And what will be really cool is if you want to join me and John in October, please go and find yourself a cool mini for October. It's going to take you the whole of October to paint, or October as we're going to call it from now, right? And yeah, I'm going to have a go at doing Gazgul. It's just, I don't know why I've agreed to doing it, but I've really got to pull my finger out and plan what I want to do. Of course, I've got to order him. I've got to get him delivered here, which shouldn't take very long at all. But then I've got to like build him and put him all together and then plan what I want to do. And I'm thinking slap chop to kind of get through it quickly. But it's also, it's also a technique that I've not done before. So yeah, I think that might be where I go, or some sort of derivation of, maybe I'll kind of like, rather than using contrast paints, that alcohol has really made me hiccup. Rather than using contrast paints, which I struggle with, maybe I'll just kind of like use glazes and things like that. And I don't know, maybe I'll just do like a mixture of everything. Maybe I'll just kind of like do my normal thing, but really got to put a lot of effort into zenithal highlightings. But I think it'd be a really cool character to build and display. So yeah, October. You've got to do October, so go and find yourself a miniature and take a picture of it, or talk about it on Facebook, because we're not just here on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're also on Discord at the end of the show. So if you want to come and join me for a short period after today, you can come and join me at the Easy 8 after party. And I realise I've just started talking at 1,000,000 miles an hour. However, because I've got guests over today to wish us back into the country, I'm not going to be on Discord for too long, but I will be over there. So if you want to come and have a chat, you are welcome to. It's been a quiet evening in the live chat as well, so I don't think there's going to be too many people over there anyway. Anyway, it's been a great evening. I've absolutely loved being back in the studio again. I've been away from it for too long. And I've really enjoyed painting. I've made a bit of progress, and I'm going to try and get as much as I possibly can done over the next few days, and I'll take photos and put them on Facebook, so please do that as well. If you're working on a project, show me some photos. Anyway, until then, it's been brilliant. Thank you so much. My name's been Danny. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. Until next week, keep on painting, stay safe, and be kind, and I'll see you soon. Cheerio! This alcohol is so strong. really need to start measuring. You've got the hiccups.